Greetings, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to my new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast series. We have been overwhelmed with the responses that people have shared from listening to these messages on my SiriusXM show over the years. Those listeners, and they're sharing my show with their network, telling people about it, telling their family members, their friends, and their coworkers about this show and the impact it's having on their lives. That's the main reason that this show is now #1 for self-help in America, and I'm very grateful. Yet we realize that many people do not have satellite radio and therefore could not experience for themselves the message. They could not get it for themselves. So we are now sharing these messages with everyone via this new podcast. Enjoy it and share it with your network. And let's help even more people to do more, be more, and achieve more. Tell everybody so that they can live a Wealthy Ways life as well. Welcome to the new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. And remember, your best is yet to come.
Standing 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Come on!
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My, my, my.
Just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. Hello, everybody. Yep, it's me live on the radio across America from coast to coast, border to border. This is Willie Jolley, and I want to say welcome to this day's and this week's show. I'm so excited that you're listening. Thank you for being such valuable, loyal listeners who consistently encourage me with your notes and emails. This last week, y'all have just given me such encouragement that you're enjoying the show, that you make it part of your weekly routine, and I'm appreciative of it. And I am grateful for you. And then, I always start every show saying how grateful I am for God giving me life. I give God glory for the fact that he gives me life, not just the radio show, not just the speaking and the books and the music and all the things that God has blessed me with, but life. And my gift to God's gift to us is life. Our gift to God is what we do with our lives. And I'm trying to play all out every day, leave nothing on the field. And I encourage you just to be grateful for every day, grateful for every opportunity, even the challenges. I heard a great quote the other day by Lou Holtz that said, there's never been an adversity that I didn't get better from. And I think that's a great idea to keep in mind. Well, we're going to have a great day today, and I don't want to delay getting into this hour's interview because this is someone I've been waiting for a long time. A long time. Let me say that again. A long time. I am very grateful to this gentleman for what he has been to the speaking industry, to the publishing industry, and to the Willie Jolley industry. When I did my first book, I was a newbie as an author, had no experience, no name recognition. And I was at the National Speakers Association convention, and I went up to this gentleman and I said, look, I'm a new author. I just got my first book deal, and I really would be appreciative if you'd give me a quote or a testimony. He stopped right where he was, right what he was doing. He stopped, said, Be my pleasure. He wrote a quote for me and looked through the book, said, I got it covered. And he wrote this beautiful quote, and it is on the front of my cover. It only takes a minute to change your life. And as you all know, those who've bought it, the book has sold hundreds of thousands of copies, and it's in multiple languages. It's been a bestseller for a number of years. And this gentleman knows about bestsellers. I'll let him tell you his story, because you all know him. Everybody who is listening knows this gentleman. He's one of the most phenomenal, fabulous people I've ever met, and one of the most encouraging and outstanding success stories. He is Mark Victor Hansen, author and co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. My guest today, Mark Victor Hansen. Thank you, Mark, for being on with me, buddy.
I love you, and I love being on with you. You know that.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Well, you've become iconic. You know, you are one of the icons in the speaking and the publishing industry. You started a idea, and I never forget Les Brown and W. Mitchell telling me, you got to know this guy, Mark Victor Hansen. He's got a new book called Chicken Soup for the Soul, where he's getting stories. And the book came out and became an international bestseller. And now you've had a whole empire of chicken soup for the soul, for the gardener's soul, for the Christian soul, where I'm featured in that one, and I'm grateful for that, for so many souls, and you have just blessed people in numerous ways. And real quick, just tell people in this first segment a little bit about Mark Victor Hansen and how y'all even got to get that book out.
Well, as you know, I've had 3 iterations of my life. I started out, wanting to be a speaker, and then I found out you had to do a multi-authored book, or could do a multi-authored book by our hero, the Dean of Speakers, Cabot Robert. Chicken Soup is then taken off, and we got 204 iterations of Chicken Soup. Like every Mother's Day for the last 8 years, we've gone to number 1 with one of our Chicken Soup for the Mother's Soul, and we've been excited about that. Now, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul just gets teenagers to be able to talk, and then I went into money books like 1 Minute Millionaire, and the newest one I have out that's going to save America economically is called The Richest Kids in America, How They Got That Way, and you can too, because, as you know, we lie to our kids. We say, grow up, go to school, and get a job. Well, there's no job, so the only hope is that you go become an entrepreneur. In my Richest Kids in America book, which before this show's over, we're going to, the people who go to my website, get one free. How's that? We're going to download it free. Now, if they go to the bookstore, it's going to cost them $15, and I like that even better, but I want every one of the 60 million kids. 20% of our society is under 19, but they're 100% of our future. Somebody's got to teach them the right stuff. So you and I are teaching the right stuff to get the right result right here and right now. And then the next iteration after speaking and then writing was I became a businessman, and I own 7 companies that are rocking. And the reason I say that is not to brag, but to say that the people that are out there that are hanging on by their fingernails and are out of jobs, got a couple of choices, but the 25% of the businesses right now in America are absolutely booming, and I'll talk to those when you ask, but what we're doing now is I'm building millionaires. I've written, 4 of the 7 millionaire books I'm going to do, but I'm writing books about how are we going to get out of this economic morass, because the business of America, according to one of our past presidents, is business, and what we got to do is get small business operating again so people have jobs and futures and fortunes and can pay for school and taxes and all that. How's that?
That's fantastic. Now, you started Chicken Soup for the Soul with nothing but an idea, and it didn't go easily, go well. Tell us that story, please.
Oh, Willie, you're a master at understatement. We had 100. Here's what happens. I wrote it with Jack Canfield, and we went to 144 different people, all the big guys in New York, and they all said, hit the road, Jack. And I said, it's okay if you don't like him, but I am a nice guy. Now, the truth is, Jack Canfield's a wonderful guy, and Willie loves him too, I think.
That's right.
He's a good man and a great friend, and we spend, people say, well, you still talk to Jack? Yeah, well, I talked to him an hour yesterday or more, on the phone because he's traveling, but we talk regularly, and you want to have lifelong friends, and you and I learned in the speaking business from our friend, the great Bill Gove, said you ought to have the hinges of friendship should never rust. They'll be well-oiled and get deeper and better. I'm adding now. I'm waxing on what Bill started, but your friendship, mine, is never wavered as far as I can tell. I don't know. We've known each other 20 years?
About 20 years, that's right. And you've always been we've been great friends.
Yeah, and I'd say it's better now than it was before.
That's right.
It was good before, but if you don't mind, Willie, I'll give you an accolade, and that is that he introduced me to somebody that is a life changer for anyone who gets in his experience. He is a speaker, a thinker. He has written one book. I think he's going to do a whole lot more now that I put the pressure on him to do it, but his name is the most aristocratic name I've ever heard. Now, women's names are aristocratic, like Ashley and Courtney and Willie, but this guy's the most aristocratic name I've ever heard. What's your name? My name's Wintley. Wintley Phipps. Isn't that an aristocratic
That's
name?
a great name, I tell you.
And this guy, Wintley Phipps, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure Willie will have him on his show, or if he hasn't.
Yeah, I've had him recently, and he was fantastic.
Yeah, well, Wintley has probably got, I say the best female voices now historically have been Whitney, Barbara Streisand, and Celine Dion. Well,
right.
I'd say the best American male voice right now, there's a couple, like Michael Crawford's great, but he's from London, I'm told. So the best, I think Wintley's got the best voice, and the truth is Willie got me to be with him, and then I ended up spending a day with him. So what am I saying is what's true about this show is that you decide to do something, like we decided to do chicken soup, which is where this question started, and I just had to give accolades to my friend Willie because it's called empowerment. Each of us needs somebody else to validate them, and each of us can do an introduction, make a contact, and I just wrote a foreword to the oldest book Napoleon Hill ever wrote called Outwitting the Devil, and I did a great job, but I read the whole book, and what's amazing is that in the height of the Depression, he said, the devil is indecision, and most people right now are indecision, and they're constipated in their thinking, just like during the Depression they get shut down, they watch the media, with the exception of a great show like Willie Jolley's show. You go, oh, my God, the economy's going into pot. This guy's in Wall Street stole all the dang money, and the guys in Washington are indecisive, so I should be indecisive. No, just the opposite. Now's the time to move forward with alacrity, with speed, with courage, which is, in French, is strength of heart, which fun and understanding your purpose in life is absolute, replete joy.
I love it. Hold that thought. We're with Mark Victor Hansen. He's the author, co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. We're going to tell you success secrets, rich secrets, millionaire building secrets, wealth building secrets. Y'all stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We've got a show that will literally change your life. You're listening to the Willie Jolley Show across America. And for sure, the best is yet to come.
You can call me, yes. Oh, yes.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and if you're enjoying this information you're hearing on this podcast, I want to invite you to get even more great information on my new free gift page on my website. Go to wjspeaks.com and hit the All Access badge. On that page, you will find information and resources specifically designed to help you to have greater success. Free ebooks, music, all sorts of interesting and informational interviews from my XM show. I'm telling you, this is a great page. And why do I do it? Because I've learned that the more we give, the more we get. And the more we help other people to grow and go to the next level, the more we receive in our business. So we want to help you. Tell your friends about it. Go to Facebook and get my information. Go to my website. Get my free resources. And get on wjspeaks.com and hit that All Access badge. It looks like a backstage pass. Click it. You'll get behind the scenes information to the special page to help you grow. All we want in return, all we ask is that you pass it on, because the more you give, the more you get. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
Gotta have faith. Gotta have faith. Walk by faith. Talk by faith, move by faith, and live by faith. You gotta have faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Woke up one morning, didn't know what to do. Had so much pressure on me. I cried, oh Lord, please help me through. He said, open the word and just read. I opened and found it was clear as can be that all things are possible if you believe. If you had the faith of a mustard seed, there is nothing, no, nothing you cannot achieve. No, inspire your faith. As you believe, then you will receive.
You got to have faith. Those who have faith are those who are able to turn their setbacks into comebacks and turn their setbacks even into greenbacks. Now, I gave a little pitch for my new books, and I hope you will take a moment and get those books, Setbacks Set Up for a Comeback, and turn setbacks into greenbacks. But today we're talking about the one who taught me about books, who taught most of American speakers about books. He's my good buddy, Mark Victor Hansen, the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he has over 200 iterations of that book. And Mark was a speaker and had all sorts of challenges in his early life, but he kept going. And one of the things that I think we can learn from a Mark Victor Hansen is about persistence and perseverance, because he and Jack Canfield got together. Mark Victor Hansen and Jack Canfield got together and developed this book called Chicken Soup for the Soul. And they took it to over 144 people. And how many publishers turned you down in those different, of those 144 people? How many of them, how many publishing companies did they work for?
It was 144 different publishing companies.
Oh, my God.
All the big guys.
All the big guys.
Warner, our friend Larry Kirschbaum said, kiss, kiss, hug, hug, get out of here. We had, and it's okay, because either, Cabot Roberts' great line, life either grinds you down or polishes you up. It's up to you and you alone, in his great Southern accent.
Yes.
And we decided to get polished up, get resolute, and then, since then we've sold 157 million books, which, according to Guinness Book of Records, makes us the world's best-selling authors.
How many books have you sold? 157
million. So I think I'm getting good at this. and to say that, do we want to help everybody? If they go to my website, markvictorhansen.com, they can press, there's just a little sign that says special offer that we're making for your people. We want to teach everyone how to do this for almost nothing and get them to do it and do it well as a speaker, writer, thinker, and get all the books that we got. And just, I'm inviting America to get live, because here's what's so great about your show, Willie.
Yes.
Is that there's one thing and one thing only that takes us forward. We're not short of food. There's 4 times too much food on the planet. We're not short of water. The oceans are full of water, and one of the companies I own, Natural Power Concepts, we're desalinating water right now for like Mumbai, India, because their salt water is being sucked into the table, because a little city, sort of like Manhattan, except twice the population, 30 million, they sucked out all the clean water, and now they're sucking in salt water from the water table, which is going to happen around the world. So luckily, guys like me have invested wisely in products that are going to change the world, and I'll talk to you about that. But the point is that what we're short of is not food. We're not short of water. We're not short of resources. We're not short of time. All of us got 24 hours. We're short of one thing and one only, and that's why this show is so critical that you're doing. We're short of awareness, short of consciousness, short of good thinking. And what I'm in is I'm in the think-provoking business. Yes, I am in a couple think tanks, but the think tank I want you to go into is I want to give everybody here 17 videos of some of the best speakers in the world, like my partner Jack, like Harry Dent, like a few other people that will stimulate you and evoke you to think some thoughts you hadn't thought, and then read 3 books that I want to give you. If you just go to Mark Victor Hansen, Hansen's Danish, so it's Senhansen, markvictorhansen.com, and you get that stuff, and it'll take you onward, upward, goodward, Godward. And when you become aware, your world changes. And what you and I talked about when we were in Florida is that we're in the greatest paradigm shift in the planet. The economy's in trouble. Work has slowed down. We no longer in America have the privilege of doing service jobs, because we now need knowledge workers. And no matter what your age, what your chronology, what your sex, what your race, what your creed, what your color, what your church or no church, you need to know how to think in a wise way, and then communicate and be effective and persuasive. And what I've done is put together the most inexpensive product on the planet so everybody can afford it, so everybody gets to do it, by just going to markvictorhansen.com and pressing the first button there and just picking it up, taking it, and using it, and we guarantee it. If it doesn't work, you send it back, we'll send your money back, and you can steal it from me. That's how good it is. Is that cool?
That's cool. That's cool. Now, you have a quote that I constantly share with people, and I have it written when I first got started speaking and going to try and develop my dream. It said, massive right thinking. Go along with this thinking, think tanks and thinking right and awareness. Massive right thinking, massive right action creates massive right results. I'll never forget you sharing that with me. Sitting down, telling Willie, you got to think right. You got to think big. You got to think bold. You got to think quantum. Massive right thinking. Massive right action. You guys took action. I believe in selling the first book. Your publisher couldn't do a lot of publicity. You said that we'll take care of that. Just promote the books. Get the book in the store. We'll get it out the store. So you did massive.
Well, by the way, that is so true. I can't even believe it. When we came out in June 28, 1993. Publisher said, "Look, boys, I'll do cartwheels if you sell 20,000." And I was thinking about it on my drive into work today. I live up on the hill looking out on the ocean of the wonderful Pacific and see the night lights at night. It's, I've gotten to have the most spectacular life on the planet, and what I want is everyone to have a spectacular life. I mean, you and I the purpose of life is to live in joy. The purpose of life is to have freedom. The purpose of life is to experience growth, and that's why this show is so critical. And what you're saying is, if you do massive wrong thinking, like, oh my God, I watch CNN and Fox, and I watch NBC, and I watch ABC, and I watch CBS, I'm going to go puke. That doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do us any good. And what happens is they're exaggerating most of the problems. And I'm not saying that golf isn't a serious problem, but I have just my little company, NPC, Natural Power Concepts, has a serious solution. We got a tanker that'll go suck up all the water in nets, separate the oil, because it's made with Velcro, from the water, from seawater to fresh water, save the fish and put them back in the sea, because, I'm on the board of Weiland's Foundation, and Weiland and I and this guy, John Petrie, world's greatest inventor, the Leonardo da Vinci of our time, the greatest surrealist artist, have figured it out. And what I'm saying is we are here to think thoughts that we never thought and do massive thinking, because we've all chosen to be alive right now. We chose when we're on the other side to say, hey, I'm going to inculcate in life. And the Chinese say, may be born in interesting times. Well, boy, these are interesting times. If you're even mildly awake and up your sleep, you're done for. You get recycled, and you get woken up painfully. So the point is you want to wake up, take off all the blinders, listen to shows like this, go to my website, markvictorhansen.com, get my stuff, read your book, because I love that title. I hope you'll sign one and send it to me.
I will. Yes.
Yeah, just because what we got to do is get the cash flow going back in America. Because no flow means no life, and it's easy to have cash flow. And once you get that, we're in a green economy in America, or maybe a gold economy if you got gold coins. But you want to increase your freedoms, not decrease them. And more money generally, it gives you a little more responsibility, but generally speaking, increases your freedom. And I've told everyone go to Andrew Carnegie's house at 91st and 5th Avenue. It took me 5 years to find it in New York. It's now owned by the Smithsonian, so it doesn't have his name on it. That's why it's so hard. But in the friezes, this is words he's written, all the words. Here's a guy with a third-grade education, gave us the American Library System when he made all the money, because he said you ought to be in causal charity, just like Oprah told me when I was with her, right? And my foundation is causal. What is the most causal stuff that you can do? And the most causal stuff you can do is think. And Andrew Carnegie's first line is, no man or woman gets rich without enriching all others. And then he says, authors, meaning you and I, authors of speeches, authors of books, authors of seminars, authors of new experience for all the people listening, authors of radio shows, are the wealth of the world. I've never iterated author 4 ways before. That was pretty cool.
That was really good. That was really good.
Did you know that you're the author of this show?
And I love it. I love it. And you have been able to help so many people to get a wealth-mindedness by helping them to change a limited mindset about wealth building and about money, and how you should work on yourself to be able to work on the potential and possibilities for your income, and how wealth gives you options. It just gives you options.
Oh, it does. And the more wealth you have, the more attraction power you got to the good that you desire. And like right now, I'm trying to make the world work for 100% of humanity. Now, most people go, oh, that's ridiculous. But the fact is, it says in the Bible, because you did this spiritually to start out with faith.
Yes.
It says in Acts 1:8, first you take care of yourself. Then if you got enough money, you can take care of a spouse. Then if you got enough money, you take care of a couple kids. Then if you got enough money, you take care of the rest of your family, then your city, then your county, then your state, then your country, then the world. Well, I'm in a position to have enough consciousness and enough context, because first of all, you got to have a dream. And Martin Luther King says, I have a dream. Well, the reason that, I've never said this before, but I think I'm clear, and Willie, you're allowed to edit and amend, but I think the reason he said that is not so one guy, Martin Luther King, could have a dream, and God bless him, but for all of us to wake up our dreaming, to get rid of our cobwebs, to get rid of our Zig Ziglar would call it stinking thinking, and start to, think proper is the way he'd say it. But the point is that you'd agree with that first point, right?
I agree 100%. Hold that point, though. We're going to be coming right.
No, you can't go to break just because you need one.
My friend Mark Victor Hansen, folks. Y'all stay tuned. We got some wealth-building ideas coming for you, and we're going to help you dream and do and go to the next level. You're Willie. You're listening to Willie Jolley. I'm all excited. You're listening to Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Show with my friend Mark Victor Hansen. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. You know the best is yet to come.
All that's changed in the blink of an eye.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for years I've told people that in order to have a greater life, it starts by having greater individual days. If you have a great day and you repeat that great day 7 times, you've had a great week. And you repeat that week 4 times, you've had a greater month. And then repeat that month 12 times, you've had a greater year, and you're on your way to a greater life. And it starts with that individual day. I recommend you start each day with something powerful. I call it the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Rather than starting your day with bad news, how many people got killed, or how many children got snatched, or how many fires there were, I recommend you start your day with something to inspire and empower and encourage you to make this day a great day. We're excited to announce the start of Jolley TV on my Facebook page. Go to Willie Jolley, Willie.Jolley on Facebook. Just go to Willie.Jolley on Facebook and get ready for a great day and a great life. Have a great day on purpose.
Don't wanna see the morning break to another day. Are the words I hear you say. Close the door and keep it shut. You say the pain is just too much for you to take. How do you begin to make your way back to some kind of peace of mind? Let me share with you what's been proven through time. We'll get through this. We'll break new ground. Yes. When we're lost within our weakness, hope is waiting to be found. We'll get through this.
We'll get through this, folks. That's a song that was sent to me from a gentleman in Nashville, Tennessee, and I recorded it for my Money Making Music album because it spoke to my spirit. We'll get through this, whatever we're going through. And this was right after 9/11, and I said, we'll get through this. We'll find hope. We'll find new ways of thinking, and we'll find strength in our faith that will help us through. And I'm saying to you, many of you have lost your jobs, you've lost your homes, you've lost your life savings. But my guest today is a guy who's been through tough times, who's been through challenges, but he did not let that stop him. He kept thinking big, dreaming big, and taking massive action. And as a result, he's sold over how many books? I can't even remember how many books he said he sold thus far. 157 million books. 157 million books. Chicken Soup for the Soul. The whole series was out of the brain and out of the mind of 2 men, Jack Canfield and my guest today, Mark Victor Hansen. Mark, so glad to have you. You know, you just inspire me, and I'm just encouraged by your story and how you didn't let the challenges stop you. You kept going.
Well, that's the whole point, is that I said, before we went to break, I said, you got to have a dream, and it's got to be big, it's got to be dynamic, it's got to be passionately purposeful, it's got to be something that becomes your magnificent obsession, something that you resonate with, something that you use the law of attraction to tune into each and every day, and it drives you. It sends out the signal and brings back the results that you want. And then number 2, you got to have a team, and what you said is correct. Jack and Mark were a team, and team is an acronym. It means together everyone accomplishes miracles. So those people that are out of business, hanging on by the fingernails, not cutting it, they need to get a team. Now, it could be with a spouse, right? I obviously, you know Crystal, and she and I are a perfect team, and you and your wife are a perfect team, and I'm telling you that Linda and Windley had a perfect team.
Yes.
Quite good, actually. and Don't you love? By the way, I hope he's listening because I love.
I'm gonna send him a
messing with
copy. I'm gonna send Wintley a copy, folks. We're talking about Wintley Phipps. For those who remember, he was on a while back, and last week we were together, all three of us, and I introduced Wintley to Mark, and Mark to Wintley, and they just hit it off like old friends, and now they're going to be doing some things, and Wintley and I, Mark had dinner with Wintley the night before I did, and I went to Wintley's house and had dinner with him, and he just was so thankful of me introducing him to Mark, and let me tell you, Wintley Phipps is a guy who is a spirit who just gives so much love and wisdom when he just stands around. And then Mark is the same kind of spirit. Mark is a giver. We did the Crystal Cathedral together some years ago with our friend Charlie Tremendous Jones, bless his heart, and he's passed on now. But Charlie and Mark and I then went on the road and did some men's programs for other cities, and we'd have dinner together. And Mark would always give me such encouragement and ideas and advice and direction. And hey, Willie, you should be thinking about this, or you should be looking at this. Always giving, and that's part of your success, isn't it, Mark?
Absolutely. But I want to, because you got some people that are hanging on. Everyone can relate to Lois, and I did go bankrupt 35 years ago. But rather than tell my story, let me tell Wintley's. And I don't know if you know this, but you introduced me to him. We decided to drive 3 hours over to Vero Beach to be with him. He takes us on this beautiful, spectacular, empty beach that by his house, and he says, "Here's the story: is that I'm a Trinidadian. He was born in the great island of Trinidad, way down in the Caribbean, and it's beautiful. And I'd just been there working when the country went bankrupt. So countries can go bankrupt, including America, unless somebody goes to work at the lowest level. There's no free lunch that the government's currently trying to give to everybody. It's a dumb idea and very socialistic. We need free enterprise, and I'm a bloody free enterpriser. I'll tell you, flaming. Anyhow, so." Wintley says he wanted to live in a place like the Caribbean, is driving down the island. He calls it God hookups, and this one was so good, he just got attached, and God said, go down this road and turn in here. And the gate was open. It's all a gated community in Vero Beach. He goes in, and he meets the guy, and the guy says, I built all these houses here, and I've got the perfect place for you. Just drive with me. And Wintley didn't want to tell him, but he didn't have any money at all, not some, not none. He gets to see this house. The lot alone is $3 million, and the guy says, look, I like you, and I don't know why I'm inspired to do this, but I'm going to give you the lot. Now, I'm short-circuiting a lot of information. I don't know if you know this or not, but the guy gave him the lot for $100,000 instead of $3 million, and he says, I'm writing the contract to pay me when you can. And he goes and finds out who could finance it. He had two guys give him some money so he could put a down payment, goes to a banker, because Wintley owns this great thing. He says 1 out of 3 black young men end up in jail, so he owns U.S. Dream Academy, which I'm now helping him with a little bit in a lot of different ways, and we're going to raise money, and we'll talk about that in other future shows, but that's not today's objective. Is that what's so cool is he goes to this banker, and the banker guy, as I remember, its son just went to jail the day before, so he says, I will help you. I'll give you the $100,000 for the lot. Gives the guy $100,000, goes, pays it off, gets clear title. The next day, the guy, out of crazy, silly circumstance, kills his wife, ends up calling his best friend, said, give me a gun. I'm going to fight my way out of this. And the guy sends him over to 7-Eleven, says, I'll meet you there, surrounds him with police, and the guy ends up in jail for the rest of his life for killing his wife. And what's amazing is Wintley, the day before, God Hookups had told him to go there, get it, buy the land, told his wife that we're going to get it, and then they cleared the title. Otherwise, it would have been mucked up forever with the family. Is that amazing?
Amazing story. And those are the kind of stories that he kind of shared some of that. I didn't get all the details, but he shared that the heaven hookups and God's hookups, and you've had God's hookups, and you tell about them in Chicken Soup for the Soul. And you tell these stories, and you understand the power. And you understand the power. And I love that you talk about free enterprise and the fact that we got to think about building enterprise. We got to think about being entrepreneurs. And in times of tough time, Warren Buffett said this is the greatest time he's seen for creating wealth, if you can change your thinking and not buy into the gloom and doom. And so, Mark, you've been able to do that through your books and through your tapes and through your programs and all the other information that you share, but you also have some philosophies on success that are just incredible that you tell people who are starting to build businesses, people who are struggling. You give them some basic 1, 2, 3s on how to get this thing going and change your thinking. Share some of those, please.
Well, we said, first of all, you got to figure out what you want. That's your dream. Then you got to put together a team, and it doesn't have to be an extraordinary team. It just needs to be somebody that is totally dedicated to you and dedicated to whatever your project or, magnificent obsession is, and then you go for it with gusto and zeal. And one of the sets of tapes that I made a long time ago with Jack is called The Aladdin Factor. Now, we wrote the books for Berkeley Press, and they were, originally I wrote a book called Dare to Win. Jack finished a little bit of it, and we did that, and we're going to do 14 of them all the way to Dare to Know God, and one was called Dare to Ask. That became The Aladdin Factor, how to ask for and get what you want. Well, this lovely Hispanic lady who you've met, Deborah Rosada Shaw, had never seen a house without holes in the walls, holes in the floor, lived in Spanish Harlem, but somehow she went into a bookstore, and our tape fell out off the shelf at her, The Aladdin Factor, 2 tapes, done by Nightingale Conant 3 times in a row, and she said, this is sort of like an omen. I think I better take this home. She's listened to it like 350 times, what she told me. She had an idea dawn on her. There's a cellular idea. There's a God hookup par excellence. She said, I ought to do an umbrella because I can't stand falling into potholes here in Spanish Harlem at night. So her umbrella did just one thing different, unique selling proposition, lit up. So you press the button on the handle and it lit up. I don't know if you remember this or not. Well, she ended up selling the company 4 years later, coming from absolute poverty to absolute prosperity for $306 million. Right?
Wow.
So Deborah is a great fan of mine and just decided to do what I said to do. Ask yourself, what is it that I can do that's unique? And what I'm saying here, a la your question, Willie, is that every day you got to say, what is the business that I could create that's needed, that's wanted, that's different, that's unusual, that is money-making, that I can easily outpicture and write that in your diary. I mean, I'm invested in a ton of businesses that I've helped get going. Like, I've only got daughters, as you know, and I found it to be an anathema to me that when they go get a pap smear, it takes 2 weeks to get it. So I'm part of the fastest-growing lab in America. We own Women's Diagnostic Lab, and instead of 2 weeks, it does it in 1 24-hour time. The woman takes it at her OBGYN and gets it to us. We do it immediately, and we fax her the results and their OBGYN results. And it's the fastest-growing lab ever, and 40,000 OBGYNs are now using Women's Diagnostic Labs as a result, and everybody that's got a brain is using us because it's that old thing you and I grew up with. I hope I'm not telling our ages too much, but Kodak Instamatic Brownie cameras. Remember those? And then
Right.
all of a sudden we had Polaroid cameras because Edward Land's little kid said, Daddy, why can't we see it instantly? And he came up with that. And then all of a sudden we had regular film, and now we've got digital cameras where it's instant. And you and I were just in Orlando, took the pictures, and then you were kind enough to send me some, and I'm deeply thankful. And I've sent that to my staff. I've already printed it up, and that. Can you imagine digital pictures? I mean,
amazing.
So what I'm saying to everybody listening is if they go to my website, markvictorhansen.com, I'm going to show you, if you press the special offer and invest, I think it's $97 or something like that, I'm going to give you everything you need to have instant money come into your life. Now, if you don't need instant money and instant success and an instantly good future that's unlimited, that I guarantee, don't get it. But, if you don't invest and you don't grow and you don't become more, you're not going to have any more. If
That's
you
right.
keep, the old thing that Einstein said, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you expect to keep getting what you've been getting.
That's exactly right. Hold that thought. We'll be right back, folks. You're listening to Willie Jolley with my special guest, Mark Victor Hansen. We'll be right back. We got more to come, and the best is yet to come.
And you know, be a friend is big. You can only call me, call me, call me.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friends said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and will help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
Like everyone else, you want peace and happiness. But is there any chance of finding it out there? How can you forget the one sure thing in all this confusion? What you desire is already guaranteed.
And you're listening to Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Show. And that music is taken from my Money Making Music and Motivation CD package. It's a music CD of money making music, one song after another. Everything you've heard today, in fact, on this show, and we play on all our shows, unless it's a special music guest, from my Money Making Music CD or my jazz CD. So go to my website, williejolly.com, and you can actually hear a sample of it, and you can download and buy it right on online, get it immediately if you like what you hear on the sample, and put it on your iPod or your MP3 player, as well as my books are now on digital form, so you can get it on your iPad or whatever kind of book reader you want to use, and it'll be a blessing to you. So it only takes a minute to change your life. Setback is set up for a comeback. Turn setbacks into greenbacks. And a new book that's on the website, An Attitude of Excellence. Today's guest, for those who are joining us late, is the one and only Mark Victor Hansen, the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul and all of the different chicken soup iterations, and a mentor, friend, and buddy, and just a great part of my life. He and Jack have been so inspirational as well as influencing me to think big and to dream big and to go big. And I have always appreciated him for that. The great interviews always go quickly. We've only got about 10 minutes in this last segment, and I want to get as much as I can from Mark. Mark, just, as you were telling people that you got to dream, you got to have a team, you got to be willing to ask, you got to ask big and bold and think prosperous, have a mindset that you can. And this is a great time. What else do you tell people to create wealth in America? Of course, it's important to be wealthy, isn't it?
Totally. More now than ever. If you got a government that's on a free lunch program, you want to make sure that you got your own lunch because you don't want somebody else controlling your lunch.
And at a time when you're looking at Social Security might be bankrupt by the time you're ready for it, you need to have your own put in place, don't you?
Well, Art Linkletter and I wrote a book called How to Make the Rest of Your Life the Best of Your Life, and we said it's a love letter to baby boomers, and we said, hey, look, smell of roses, the government's broke right now. It isn't going to get broke because they got a system that's broke. In other words, Social Security was supposed to be stashing all that cash since 1937. Well, not only did they not stash it, but you let a politician look at money, he or she smells it, and they decide, hey, I can spend this today, and we'll figure out how to get more money tomorrow. Well, that's nice, but yesterday is today, and we've got to worry about our future tomorrow. So the only one that's going to take care of you financially is you. They've had 37 amendments to Social Security, always making it less to the future. So, if you're expecting Social Security, I wouldn't if I were you. I'm teaching in my book, 1 Minute Millionaire, that you save 10% of your income, give 10% of your income, and invest 10% of your income. And save and invest are two separate issues. As we can see now, a lot of people lost their savings, but they wouldn't have lost their investments if they had enough savings to keep them through the tough times. And, I'm saying you got to have a dash for cash when you have fast cash in slow times. If you're just awake to how to do it, and what I want to do is, if they'll go to my website, markvictorhansen.com, press the special offer that's at the very top. Just go there, put your little cursor on it, press it, get that. I'm going to show you how to have that dash for cash. What did you call your book?
Turn setbacks into greenbacks.
That is a great title, man. Because I teach title is everything, and what we're trying to do is help all of you listening to retitle your future, because where the attention goes, the energy flows, and what you recognize is what you energize, and the size of your thinking determines the size of your result. All of my cliches or quotes that I've written, because I write a quote every day, and what we want you to do is think bigger, better, stronger, healthier, more noble thoughts than ever before, because we're going to go off petrochemicals, and because of me, we're going to go on, with our company, we got 101 patents on alternative energy, and we're right now doing the coolest alternative energy with windmills for the home that are going to energize it. We got a light bulb that's made out of silicon. I mean, our friend Thomas Alva Edison would wet his pants if he saw that it's 1/3 of a watt, gives you 100 watts of energy. It'll last forever. It has a green bottom. It's going to cost 1/3 the price.
So,
it comes out
so Mark,
cheap.
you said what I'm getting from this is you are mindful and intentional in creating streams of income, multiple. You got books, and you've got the tape series and speaking, which is what some people say, oh, that's enough. But you don't settle for that. You don't stop there. Tell us why you think like that. Why it's important to have multiple streams of income.
Well, starting 20 years ago, Bob Proctor and I trademarked the term. He flew back from Taipei to L.A. and called me at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, I just figured it out. Most people would like to be a millionaire. They like it fast with 365 days. And, if you got a dream and then you got a team, what you need is multiple streams of income. And, if you have one stream of income, it's called a job. And if you get fired from a job, you lose a job, you get sick, your situation's out of luck. But if you got multiple streams of income, which everyone needs today, I mean, unless you're ignorant, totally, you don't have it, you will miss it. So that's why I did all these money books, like 1 Minute Millionaires, Cash in a Flash, Cracking the Millionaire Code, and the one we are going to give to everyone that goes on my website free, The Richest Kids in America, How They Got That Way, and you can too, is because if you can see that these kids, we got a little 9-year-old making $3 million a year, we got a 17-year-old making $37 million a year because she created a hair product and sells 60,000 bottles a month at Walmart. She's a girl of color who'd lost her hair. Jasmine Lawrence grew up and had 5 different fathers in the first 4 years of her life, didn't talk. So everybody comes out of adversity. But you got to take that and turn it to your advantage. You got to, the Asians say the yin and the yang. Crisis always equals opportunity. So we got the greatest crisis in human history. So we got the greatest opportunity. And you'll say, why do you want to be a politician? I said, a politician doesn't have the power I got. I got the power to wield the word persuasion. That's what I'm trying to teach everyone here is if they go to my little website, I want to teach you how to be massively persuasive. So first of all, you persuade yourself, because when you're persuaded, you can persuade. Second of all, when you're convinced, you can convince others, and you've got to have multiple sources of income. It isn't even a choice anymore, because everything is oscillating, and, you don't know when, the Henry Ford's going to invent the automobile that puts a buggy whip out. You don't know when Steve Jobs is going to invent the iPhone that would obsolete all the other phones, when he's going to invent iTunes, which put 400 record companies out of business in 4 months down to, we got 4 now, and you no longer sell albums. He did 3 billion downloads. You never know when Netflix and a Redbox are going to put a Blockbuster, which no one saw coming, out of business. So you got to have multiple streams of income because this stuff today happens fast. The turns are no longer slow, and you want to be in front of it. You need to be on top of it. You need to listen to a show like Willie Jolley, where a great and inspiring speaker sets in order the facts of experience. So you go, oh, wait a second. I was watching all that garbage on CNN and Fox. Those guys are saying everyone's losing money. Not everybody's losing money. If you listen to the wrong stuff, you get the wrong result. You listen to this show, you can get the right results. You're going to have your own dash for cash, and you're going to have multiple streams of income, and you're going to have what I teach in one of the books I wrote that's a bestseller now called Cash in a Flash.
Now, real quick, because we only got a few more minutes, I want people to know where they can get your stuff, what stuff you recommend, and how they can do it, and get on your newsletter. Tell us all of that.
Well, if you're electronically available on your telephone or otherwise, go to Mark, M-A-R-K, Victor, V-I-C-T-O-R, Hansen, Hansen.com. If you're not, call my 800 number, 800-433-2314, extension 105, and she'll help you get anything you want. And, I've written 305 bestsellers, and I'm not done. As a matter of fact, when I leave this telephone call, do you remember the show MacGyver?
Yes.
Well, it was written by a guy that's downstairs. He and I are writing our way out of this scenario because I figure paper got us in and paper will get us out. So we're finishing a book today called You Are the Solution. So if you'll go to my website, we'll get a first crack at looking at some of the chapters of that. And it'll wow your soul because there is money available for all of us for all time. There's no lack of money. We have a $50 trillion economy. Per capita, everyone ought to have about $10 million. Well, most people listening ain't got it because they haven't learned to think right, talk right, act right, get the right results right here and right now. And if they go to my website, listen to that stuff, they're going to start getting kind of results that you and I are teaching, preaching, and experiencing.
So, folks, let me get it to you one more time. Mark, M-A-R-K, Victor, V-I-C-T-O-R, Hansen, Hansen.com. Mark, thank you, my brother. I love you, man.
I love you, too. Thanks for having me on.
All right, it's a pleasure. Talk to you soon. Man, folks, that was my friend Mark Victor Hansen, author of Chicken Soup for the Christian Soul, Gardener Soul, Nurse's Soul, but Chicken Soup for the Soul, and I'm featured in Chicken Soup for the Christian Soul. I'm honored to be on the front cover of that. Go to my website. You can actually order that, and you can get it today. And it comes with a CD of me speaking on the best is yet to come. This is Willie Jolley. For sure, the best is yet to come.
Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dreams.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.